Greetings and welcome to the latest installment of the PaleoScan Tips and Tricks series. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite aspects of the software, and that is interacting with the dip and azimuth filter to filter out a subset of a larger fault set that we have previously created. I'm going to create a subset of this large fault set here that consists of just very large faults that are trending north-south. I'll zoom in on these to give you an idea of what I mean by that. You can see in this fault set there are various faults of all different orientations. But like I said, in this example, what I want to do is just show everyone how if we wanted to use just a fault set of these north-south trending faults, how we would go about doing it. And the way that we do that is by interacting with our dip azimuth filter. And that dip azimuth filter is up here. It's by default always started with the general workspace. And first thing I want to talk about is just the general filter itself. You'll notice it has a whole bunch of these green dots in it. Each of these green dots represents one of the faults in this window. And so for this example, what I'll do is I'll click on the both direction dip selection, azimuth direction. And so if I hold down mouse button 1 and grab this button here and drag, you'll see I'm starting to open up this filter. And you may notice that right off the bat, we now have two different colors of dots here, green and then gray. The gray shaded dots are now the faults that have been hidden, who are outside of this azimuth range. I'm going to reinitialize this view here so you can see all of the faults placed back in where they were before. So if I click on this icon here, you'll see our total fault set has been replaced. And if I go back and I start filtering out by dragging this yellow button, you'll just keep your eye on that 3D view. You'll see as I move this, more and more faults are starting to disappear. Now I'm going to stop. I'm going to leave about an 80 degree or 70 degree range. And then you'll notice if I place my cursor in the shaded area, I can grab that shaded area, can swing the whole range around. That hourglass is moving. And you can see as I do that, more faults are being hidden while others are being shown in my 3D view. So I'm just going to orient this filter north-south. Like I said, for this example, I want to show everyone how to save a set trending north-south. So I'm going to leave this filter trending north-south. As I mentioned before, this example is going to show how to create a subset of a major fault set. And I want to focus on large faults that are trending north-south. So I've oriented this north-south. Now, if I grab on the orange dots, I can restrict the dip range. And so the center is 0, while the outside is 90. You'll notice if I start pulling down on the center dot, I will start eliminating the faults that are at a very low angle. And if I grab this lower orange dot and move up, I'll start pulling away the faults that are at a very high angle. So this is the dip and azimuth filter restriction, and just below it, you'll see there's a histogram, and there's with pink on both ends of it. If I were to place my cursor in the pink area here and grab it and slide it over, this is our size filter now. So the upper area was our dip azimuth filter. Now I'm looking at our size filter. So on the left-hand side is our very small faults. On the right-hand side would be the larger faults. And so I'm going to get rid of some of the smaller faults in here. You'll see if I place my cursor in the pink section on the left-hand side and I hold down mouse button 1 and drag that to the right, you'll start to see some of the smaller faults disappear in the 3D window. I'll just stop right there. So you can see now I've filtered on my dip and azimuth as well as size to be left with only a certain number of faults in my 3D window. Now, I've just shown you how to do that hands-on by interacting with the dip azimuth filter and the size filter, but you'll notice directly beneath the size filter, there's also these areas where you can choose to hard enter. So if you know you wanted to use a specific azimuth range, a specific dip range, or a specific size range, you could always just hard enter those directly into these boxes here. If I come to my fault module, about four icons down, you'll see there's this icon, and if I hover my cursor over it, it says Save Fault Set. If I click on that Save Fault Set icon, a dialog box opens asking if I want to save all of the faults or just the visible faults. So this is a pretty neat, intuitive way of the software saying, I think I know where you're going with this, right? So if you click Visible Only, the software you'll see automatically selects the visible only faults. And remember, we're doing this because the idea at the start was we wanted to save a subset of our general or our overall fault set. So by clicking on the visible only, I've opened up a Save Fault Set dialog box. I will call this just for example, I'll call this north-south trending and click OK. You'll see now if you look in the project browser under your fault topic, we have a new fault set, which is just the north-south trending faults. If I remove everything from my 3D objects list, I did that with a right click on the object and I'll click remove. I'll say yes. And now if I right click on the north-south trending and say open in 3D, you'll see the software now opens the smaller subset that we just created. That's all there is to it. I hope you learned something and I hope you enjoyed learning about how to use that dip azimuth filter. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at support_us@elise.fr or for a general email box. Let me start over. I'm going to start that one over. Thanks so much. I hope you were able to learn something new about faults, and we look forward to seeing you at our next webinar series. Thanks.